Boy Jay, we back with another video. This is more a serious note on some more vulnerability, more authentic reality tone, kind of serious. So these are things I wanted to talk about for years now, publicly and openly, but it's just hard because it's hard to be vulnerable, and especially as a man, and be open, and I'm insecure about a lot of the things and a lot of these things, and the way that this has affected me, the trauma, the abandonment, the guilt, the shame, all of that, and the way that it physically has affected my life as well. So with that being said, I struggled mentally for a long time. I think I was depressed when I was a kid. The doctors diagnosed me with depression and shit. They try to say that it's possibly due to a chemical imbalance. They try to put me on SSRIs when I was like 14, 15. I think I was 14, yeah. But if I go back in my life, I was depressed way before I knew what depression was, but I didn't know. I wasn't very aware of it. As a kid, I just really felt miserable a lot of times. I felt lonely, I felt abandoned, I just felt sad, lonely. I was also overweight, so I just felt insecure. I was a really chubby kid. I had the gyno, the man boobs, I had the fucking big ass belly, everything. I just didn't look good. I wasn't happy with myself and my own skin. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. When I went to the beach, I would want to wear shirts and everything, tank top at least. But my mom, she didn't want me to. She was just like, you're a boy, you gotta grow up out that mentality. But she didn't realize how it affected me emotionally, how insecure I was showing myself and just going out there. I'm a little sick right now, so this is even difficult for me, but for me, it started when I was young. The sadness, the anger, the abandonment, the loneliness. I'm not gonna act like I had the worst life, but my dad was just in and out of my life. My parents were broken up since I was born. I never even got to see them be together, So, and a lot of kids experience that, but I think it's a lot more than just that. It was just, not having a father figure was a big part of it, and my mom worked a lot, so, and I'm not blaming my mom because she had to do what she had to do as a single mother, but I just didn't feel the love that I needed, the affection, and I'm an emotional person. I really need to be, I feel like I like to be acknowledged. I like to feel loved and appreciated and respected, and I just didn't feel that in my home, and it wasn't my mom's fault. She just isn't emotionally as available as I needed her to be. She was raised by a man, and she was raised by a father that was in the army, a military dad, so she just wasn't, she didn't have a mother, like I didn't have a father, so, she didn't really have that nurturing aspect as much as other moms or women do. And that's not to say she wasn't loving, and she didn't love me, because she did. And I'm not trying to down talk my mom at all, because she took care of me, she loved me, and she fed me, and she did everything she needed to do as a mother. But I didn't feel the emotional connection that I needed as a kid. And my dad was he had every other weekend basis, and that wasn't enough. And I didn't even go every other weekend because of things would happen at his house, arguments, fights, domestic, whatever. And then I wouldn't want to go there, and just it was just a back and forth for a long time. But basically, regardless of what happened with my parents, it was in me. I had it something fucking it was just sad, bro. The boy was just sad. Like I was just looking for things to fill that void and shit. I'll just play video games all day. You know, I was living a comfortable lifestyle until one day I think I was like 12 or 13, and I just realized when I started hitting puberty, I think it really was, is when I started putting effort in my life, because I honestly, I really just knew that girls weren't gonna like me if I was the person who I was. I knew that I needed to stop being lazy. I started, getting into more, working out more. But I will say my dad did teach me a lot about exercise and stuff for the time that he was there. And I got into just working out and taking care of myself. And I may look a lot better, and I may be physically, a lot better. But that doesn't mean I'm always good mentally. I still struggle a lot with the depression. Now it's a lot more anxiety now. I never used to be an anxious person. And just dealing with the loneliness and all that. So yeah, it started years ago, but I want to think of how I'm gonna approach this. Like, what I have so much I could say in one video. How much do I want to say? So when I was 14, that's when like a huge domino effect started in my life. I got kicked out of my mom's house, and we got into an argument, and it led to one thing after the other. I was wrong. We were both wrong, and I was wrong. I was being disrespectful. I didn't want to do some kind of chores or something. It was just stupid. And she was trying to ground me over grades and stuff, and then it led to her being physical with me, and then basically I ended up leaving. I didn't feel comfortable going back there because, the situation, so I ended up staying with my dad at the time, and it was just a lot mentally on me. From like 14 to 18, I was just like back and forth, surviving, couch surfing, struggling. But that's really what started it, the domino effect of just, and the first time she told me I could come back, but I wasn't comfortable coming back because of the whole situation and the way that she handled it, and that it just went down. And the fact that when I left, like, nobody went to look for me or nothing. Like, I just was like, whatever. So I went and stayed with my dad. Eventually that didn't go good either. My dad ended up fighting me, starting a fucking fight with me, and I didn't want to fight my dad, bro. I was just dead ass. I don't want no smoke with him. But it was just mad bullshit. So from like 14 to 18, I was just struggling, couch surfing, like surviving, bro. And I lived with my best friend's mom. I lived with my grandma. I lived with my dad. I even went back to my mom's for a minute. And it was just fucked up because I was going through so much mental stuff already, even way before all that. And then once all the physical shit happened, the physical instability, it really messed with me mentally, bro. I felt just abandoned. I felt fucking lonely. I felt fucking betrayed by everybody, by the whole world. because I felt like a burden to all these people I had to stay with, my friend's mom, these people I'm not even supposed to be living with, my grandma who wasn't even in my mom's life, so who didn't even raise my mom. So I just felt like fucking my self-esteem, the way that I felt about myself and I perceived myself in the world just really affected that. It affected how I love myself, how I look at myself. And, this girl, she cheated on me, like all types of shit. And to this day, I won't say I'm doing amazing or perfect, but I'm trying. That's the difference. Back then I didn't feel like I had much going on. I didn't feel like I was trying. I just didn't even care sometimes. These years have been a blur. They've fucking passed by so quick. And, I turned that pain and I ended up lashing out on the people that did care about me. I started treating the people like shit because, I've been kicked out so many times from so many, people didn't give a fuck about me. I remember living with my best friend's mom and I fucking helped her paint her whole house. I helped her paint her whole fucking crib. I helped them move in. I fucking everything I could. And we got into a little petty argument. And then it happened. I happened to walk in the room while she's talking about the argument, and all I said was, "That's not what happened." And boom, that day I lost my house, bro. I lost where I could live. I slept on a couch then too for years, bro. But I lost my place of living because I had a disagreement. It was a petty disagreement, and I happened to walk in when she was talking about it, and she was lying, saying that this is what happened when that's not what happened. So all I said was, "That's not what happened." She said, "Get the fuck out of there." After years of me staying with this woman on and off, her claiming that she was gonna be a mother figure, a loving person, that she cared, but she ended up being on hard drugs. And I won't say who or what or where. If they watch this video, it is what it is. I didn't say no names, bro. The truth is reality, is real life. This is my life. This is my story. I'm gonna tell it however the fuck I want. All right, because this is reality. This is the truth. I don't sugarcoat. I don't say bullshit. I don't lie. I don't fuck around. And I'm swearing a lot more. And I'm acting a lot less professional in this video because this is my real life shit. And you know what? It may be corny. I don't give a fuck, yo. Because a lot of kids ain't been through what I've been through. A lot of 20-year-olds that I grew up with, I went to school with, they didn't live the life that I live. And I'm sick of hiding it and not talking about it. I'm sick of holding that shit in, bro. Because now I'm older, now I'm going to talk about my pain, and now I'm going to let other people that are going through it resonate with other kids, other adults, whatever. And I'm not perfect now, but I'm doing everything I can. I got a lot more stability, and I'm trying, I had to work on my physical stability, and then I'm starting to work on my mental stability, you know what I mean? But I was just a kid trying to figure life out, and I was just living off people, I didn't know what to do. I didn't have no stability for real. I was just living wherever was the most comfortable at the time, who would let me stay, and it was just couches and all that. For years I didn't have a bedroom until one day I met this girl, but I'll get into that another time. But, I was a kid, bro. I wasn't even, what's the word? Emancipated, so I couldn't really do much. I couldn't get an apartment or nothing. So I could get a job, but I wasn't able to get an apartment. And so finally, I was 18. I got my first studio apartment when I was 18 years old. And the feeling was amazing. Because before that, I slept on my grandpa's fucking lazy boy for a recliner. It's a chair. I don't even think it was a lazy boy. It was just like a fucking chair with the legs out for months, bro. Months. And that was one of the worst living situations I've had because not my grandpa, but because my uncle who lived with my grandpa's son was a fucking dickhead. He didn't want me there. He hated me there. and he's just a man child with no fucking job. He's like 25 years old, gets babied. His dad fucking gets whatever he wants for him. Not whatever, but does everything for him, provides for him. He's never had to have a job. He's never had a sustainable job. He's never had to work or struggle like me. And it was just, he was just meat. He was an asshole, bro. He was a dickhead. He's a fucking piece of shit. Feel me? He just didn't give a fuck. So, with that being said, it's like, I just struggled and I just dealt with so much negativity and bullshit. And now it's like, now that I'm on my own, I've been on, it's just like, damn, like, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that shit. But at the same time, my brain is still clouded by all the negativity that I've consumed and I've been around, because in all reality, in upstate New York, there ain't much going on for real. Everybody's just, a lot of people are scummy, a lot of people are fucked up, a lot of people are on drugs, a lot of people are in poverty, etc. So when you grow up around that, especially when your parents are young themselves, my mom was a teenager when she had me, my dad was a teenager, so shit like that. So I've just learned from experiences from my life. I'm not gonna say I had the hardest life, but I damn sure ain't had that shit sweet, yo. My shit ain't been sweet. This wasn't no Sweet Life Zach Cody type shit. This wasn't no Disney Channel suburban family type shit. Feel me? But my goal, where I'm going and where I've been, is not the same. So that's the point of this video. And I don't want to drag it on too long. I'll continue talking about my life in another video, because a lot of people's attention spans ain't even long enough for no 20-minute video. But I'm gonna get more in detail about my actual struggles and trauma. But I just wanted to get a base level, surface level of what the fuck I've had to go through and the bullshit I've had to endure in my life, and how it's affecting me. And to this day, it still affects me. It affects how I think, how I act, and I have a lot of guilt and shame, because I've projected the negativity that I've been faced with, and I've projected that onto people that didn't deserve it at all. But I'm learning, and I'm becoming the man that I want to become, and I'm putting in the effort. I'm building those habits, those goals, and I'm just doing those, just discipline and just being consistent, and hoping for the best, and hope that if I stay consistent, and I know that if I stay consistent and I still work hard and I grind, I keep exercising, I start meditating, keep reading these books and listening to these books and keep working on myself, I'm gonna be the man that I need to be in my 30s and my 40s and my 20s, even my late 20s. But I'm using that now, the time now, to build into that. So basically what I'm saying is, if I could go through everything I've went through and still be here smiling and chilling, still be here surviving, living, you want to go from surviving to thriving. I don't want to survive no more. I want to fucking thrive, yo. I'm trying to live my life. I'm trying to live. I don't want to just survive. I want to live and enjoy it. And a lot of it starts with loving yourself and building those habits that you need, and sacrificing and facing the pain instead of trying to numb it with drugs or alcohol or weed and video games and TV and girls, sex, whatever. You gotta deal with that shit. You gotta be in solitude. You gotta be alone. You gotta be with your thoughts. You gotta meditate. You gotta face your problems. You gotta journal. You gotta write them down. Whatever it is you gotta do to face your life, and how could I be better? How could I do more than I have done in the past? How can I create mental, physical, financial success? Okay, the people I grew up with, they haven't been teaching me that shit. The people that my family, my friends, okay, Okay, so I need to surround myself with a new environment, or I need to be by myself and learn. Nowadays, you could go on YouTube and learn anything for free. There's millions of dollars worth of information on there for free. So there's no excuse, you know? There's legit college course level criteria on fucking YouTube, and you can learn. You could be just as smart as a college student if you invested yourself the time. So now with all these resources, use your resources to build those habits, that discipline, go from surviving to thriving. And that's what I'm at now. I'm trying to thrive, not just survive. But I'm gonna fuck with y'all on the next one. I don't want to keep talking about my life because it's gonna become a whole hour long spiel. But I'm gonna get back into that shit and get more into my trauma and my own pain and suffering, and hope that it resonates with some other kids or some other people in their life.